Liza P director video. Director demo? This one here? Yeah? Okay, let's take a look at it.
안녕하세요. 피해 거짓을 개발하고 있는 총괄 디렉터 최지원입니다. 이렇게 영상으로나마 여러분들과 만나게 되어 신나고 반갑습니다.
It's for COVID. How do I feel about the release?
데모가 공개된 게
I hope they were happy about the demo release. I feel like a lot of people played it.
네, 한국 시간으로 새벽 4시인가 그랬는데요. 썸머 게임 페스트를 기다리면서 저희들도 그대로 밤을 새웠습니다. 또 많이 긴장도 되더라고요. 처음 플레이 가능한 버전을 선보이게 돼가지고 저희가 걱정 반 기대 반이었는데 여러분들께서 좋은 만들 그리고 응원, 피드백들을 많이 주셔가지고 흥분되는 나날을 보내고 있습니다.
Purpose of the video.
지난 9일 피해 거짓 데모 버전을 저희가 공개를 했습니다. 정말 많은 분들이 플레이를 해주시고 의견을 주셨습니다. 저희도 고민했던 부분, 저희가 미처 생각하지 못했던 그러한 부분들에 대한 이야기들도 있어가지고 그러한 부분에 대해서 디렉터로서 한번 생각을 미리 말씀드리고 싶었고 또한 데모를 경험해 주신 플레이어분들이 걱정하시는 부분들에 대해서 저희가 어떻게 대응할 것인지.
So it's basically just like this video is them responding to feedback they received during the beta.
먼저 소개해드리고 싶어서 이 영상을 준비하게 됐습니다.
A lot of feedback regarding the dodges.
해피를 가장 많이 언급해 주시고 우려해 주시더라고요. 그래서 데모 플레이하는 영상도 저희들이 많이 찾아봤습니다. 그리고 해피와 가드는 피해 거짓에 있어서 피기관처럼 사실 매우 중요한 요소거든요. 플레이 구조상 매우 신중하게 다뤄야 하는 부분이기도 하고요. 무적 유지 시간이나 거리 등 여러 가지 요소와 소정 시 영향받는 부분들에
It was weird that whenever you were locked on to a target, you would sidestep, and whenever you weren't locked on, you would dodge. I didn't like that. It felt inconsistent and weird because dodge actually made you move farther.
그래서 제작진들이 다방면으로 검토하고 있습니다. 그래서 재미는 유지하면서 보다 나은 전투 경험을 전달해드리기 위해 모든 개발진들이 노력하고 있어요. 9월 19일까지 조금만 기다려주세요. 전투 관련해서도 마지막까지 다양한 요소들을 검토하고 있어요. 먼저 조작감에 대해서 저희들이 개선 중인데 캐릭터의 기본 이동부터 로그온 그리고 카메라 조작 등에 대해서도 저희들이 쾌적한 조작감을 전달드리기 위해서 다양한 요소에 걸쳐서 최종 마무리를 진행하고 있습니다. 그리고 피해 거짓에 있어서 플레이어들에게 최고의 타격감을 선사하는 것이
I think that the impactful hits and the way that you can so basically the way this game works is that whenever you deal enough damage to an enemy, their health bar becomes like glowing blue, and then you can do a heavy attack, which staggers the enemy, and then you can do a visceral attack, which does a lot of damage to the enemy after that. I actually feel like that system is really good, and I like it a lot. I think the only problem that I really had is that I didn't like how weapon durability went down whenever you did melee attacks. I feel like weapon durability would be okay to have if it was only applied, like durability was only reduced from your weapon whenever you incorrectly blocked an attack instead of parrying it. Because like that's punishing player error. Because I feel like in perfect gameplay, you shouldn't have to repair your weapon during combat. It's not fun, it's just annoying. Yes, it makes it harder, but I mean a million other things could make the game harder, it doesn't make them better. Right? Make the boss mechanics better instead of adding in like a weird mechanic like that.
저희들의 목표이기 때문에 사운드나 이펙트 그리고 모션 등도 저희들이 최선을 다해서 폴리싱을 진행을 하고 있습니다.
Because that did feel
엇박자라고
good.
하죠. 몬스터들 공격에 있어서 좀 더 플레이어들이 직관적인 대처를 하실 수 있도록
Making monsters offbeat attack patterns and movements more intuitive. I think this is also an issue. I remember whenever I was playing it, like a lot of the mobs had like and there were a couple of NPCs in Sekiro that were programmed this way, but they had like a drunken brawler, like fighting stance to them, like kind of like a lot of the mobs at the beginning in Yharnam, in Bloodborne, because like so they're always like flopping and moving around, so it's very hard for you to tell. Like you get a lot of false positives and false negatives because like, oh, I thought he was moving his arm just in his normal animation, but no, he's actually casting an attack.
정박과 엇박에 대해서도 저희들이 여러 가지 부분에 대해서도 조정을 하고 다듬고 있습니다. 네, 꼭 많이 기대해 주세요.
That's great.
사실 저희는 매우 방대한 시스템하고 컨텐츠를 준비를 했어요. 그래서 데모와 소개 영상에서 보여드리는 부분은 정말 극히 일부분이거든요. 그래서 크고 작은 이벤트들이 본편에 기다리고 있을 겁니다. 그래서 피해 거짓만의 매력적인 이야기.
I also think that you should be able to, like, there are some things, like, obviously, like, that they lifted, like, I mean, this game's basically, like, Bloodborne, right? Like, again, like, people brought up the dodges, like, the dodge system works the exact same as Bloodborne, and also you have to, like, level up at the doll in Bloodborne. Like, I don't think that you should have to go to, like, that kraut or whatever, like that hotel to level up. I think you should just be able to level up right from the checkpoints, because it's like it's multiple loading screens that I don't think add a lot of interest to the game. Like, it's just annoying.
이야기와 이벤트들 그리고 시스템들을 보다 원활하게 즐기실 수 있도록 튜토리얼이나 가이드도 마지막까지 저희들이 보강을 하고 있습니다. 그리고 저희 게임을 통해 처음 소울라이크를 플레이하시는 분도 계실 텐데 소울라이크라는 장르가
I love how it just calls it the Souls-like genre. Everybody knows, like, we know, you know, everybody knows. Okay, yes, right.
이런 재미가 있구나. 차근차근히 해나가면은 어렵지 않구나. 이런 부분을 많이 느끼실 수 있으면 좋겠고, 그래서 앞으로 소울라이크라는 장르를 플레이하시는 분들이 더욱더 많아졌습니다.
I think also, like, a reason why it's hard is that if you look at the first boss and you look at the amount of abilities that first boss has, I think that, and you compare it to, like, Demon Vanguard in Dark Souls, right? Or you compare it to Soldier of Godric, or even, like, the first boss that you fight in one of the caves. Like, the first boss that you fight in this game is actually really hard. Like, I would say that he's not, like, substantially easier or harder than, like, the third boss, which is, like, the last one that you fight in the demo. Margit's not really the first boss. Margit is, like, the first real boss. Like, this is the first actual boss in the game. So, like, you compare this to Asylum Demon, or you compare it to... I guess Bloodborne doesn't really have a boss like that, now that I think about it. I'm trying to think any other bosses. Like, you know, those first bosses in Sekiro, like, those are also pretty... Gundyr. Yeah, Gundyr. There you go. Yeah, Champion Gundyr is a great example. Like, I think that the boss in Lies of P is substantially harder than Gundyr. Personally, I think so. And I don't really think that it's a good thing to have a really, really hard tutorial boss. Because at that point, people are still picking up the game. And, like, obviously I was able to beat the boss. It wasn't really a big deal. But a lot of people, it is going to be their first time going into the genre. And they don't really understand the nuances of the game. And so putting them in front of a boss that's made to be a tutorial boss for veterans, I don't really think is a good idea. And I don't like it whenever you have really, really hard bosses at the beginning, because what ends up happening is that the difficulty of that doesn't really scale up. It's probably about the same. So, like, the tutorial boss is right here, and then, like, the next two bosses are, like, here or here, right? Or maybe they're about the same. Sometimes they're even easier. And, like, that's what happened with, like, Wulong, Fallen Dynasty, is that the tutorial boss was, like, in my opinion, astronomically harder than anything in the game until, like, the 5th boss or, like, the 7th boss or something like that. And I just feel like that's such a bad way to, like, you're effectively filtering out your player base. And I know that there are some people that take pride in being able to overcome what, you know, people refer to as filters, but I actually don't think that's a good thing for a game. Like, I think if you're a developer for a game, you're a designer for a game, I feel like it would be very disappointing to you that people that start playing your game get filtered out so early on and they don't get a chance to enjoy what you made for them, right? It's actually just not a good thing. So I think that they should make the difficulty scale up over time rather than make something, like, really, really hard right at the beginning. So yeah, even a first Elite in Sekiro, maybe go, holy shit, that's the first Souls game ever. Yeah. Tectone rage quit during the first Lies of P stream during a... Wait, Tectone got paid to play this game? I did this shit for free? I even made a YouTube video. People shit on me in the YouTube video for this. And he got fucking paid? What the fuck is this? Dictone, yes! I didn't even know this. Yeah, it's like that making an episode and the first episode of the show is the worst and most complicated. Yeah, I think that's another good example. And just overall, I think that you should make the tutorial bosses a tutorial for the game. It's that simple. Just make them a tutorial for the game where people can learn the game and understand it. So, what do you think about a boss that separates two gameplay lines, ending in the same ending, but one giving more instructional-based bosses and one being more challenging? So, like a boss that, like, if you can beat this boss, you unlock effectively, like, tier 2 of the game. That's interesting. Like, for example, like, imagine you defeat Genichiro at the beginning of Sekiro, and you unlock a different version of the game where, like, the demon bell is on or something like that. Sure, I think that'd be interesting, but I just think as a baseline, putting a wall up that's that early, because again, like you're learning the controls of the game, you're learning the feel of the game, you're learning the mechanics of the game, and you're learning just the game in general, right? You're just getting a feel for what's going on. And I think that all of those things put together and then giving somebody a hard boss at the beginning, I think it's going to turn a lot of people off. So I'm actually really glad to see that they're at least addressing some of these concerns. Father Gascoigne was a hard but great tutorial boss, though. It taught you to adapt. The difference between Father Gascoigne and this is that this boss is designed for you to encounter within 10 minutes of you beginning the game. Father Gascoigne, realistically, you're not going to encounter him until maybe 2 or 3 hours into the game. Maybe 5 hours into the game, depending on how good you are. And also, like, I personally, like, Cleric Beast was always my first boss. Like, I never even fought him at the beginning. Tectone Rage clip? Yeah, let me see that. Actually, somebody link that to a mod. I want to see Tectone Rage about this game. 1854 on a 2v2 Wrestler Shaman. Well, if it was a BC, you'd be able to buy your weapon. Yeah, let me see it. I want to watch it. Yeah, I want to watch it. Yeah, we're going to pause right now. We're going to see it. It was technically a first required boss. Most people did Cleric Beast first. Yeah. And I feel like Cleric Beast, to be honest with you, I think Bloodborne has the hardest intro bosses. Like, straight up. I think Cleric Beast and Father Gascoigne are, like, way fucking harder than, let's say, Taurus Demon plus, Asylum Demon. It's way harder than, I would say, like, the Samurai General and Chained Ogre in Sekiro. I think it's way, way, way too hard. Like, if you add Margit into it, then yeah, Elden Ring is harder. But, like, that's not really the way Elden Ring's meant to play. Wait a second. Let me see this. Let me watch him fuck up. Let me watch him fail. Okay, so the boss he's doing pretty well, right? He got the boss pretty low.
Brother, just let me fucking do anything! You stupid piece of shit! A good game, Lies of Pete. Thanks for sponsoring today's stream. Really good. Can't wait to play your game when it comes out. That was epic. Very epic, very good, very awesome. Thank you very much for sponsoring. That was epic.
Oh, God. He rage quit Sekiro, too? Yeah, Genichiro. I remember watching it. Well.
Brother, just let me fucking do anything! You stupid piece of shit!
Let me see if I can show you what I meant, by the way. Like that right there. I don't like attacks like this. Like, as a tutorial boss, this is way too much, bro. Because he's going to swing, and then he just turns around like that. Like, this is a great boss. Like, that type of a mechanic is a great boss for, like, a mid-game thing. But that's not a tutorial mechanic, man. It's, like, intentionally deceptive. That early on? Come on. I think it's too much. It's a debate mechanic. It's too early. People don't even know. They don't even know what a normal attack looks like. And you're already going to feed them debates. Like Ravis from Jedi Survivor. Ravis was a joke, number one. And number two, Ravis is after like 15 or 20 hours of gameplay. Ravis was the best fight in the entire game. Or at least I didn't finish it. but he was by far the best fight that I did.
좋겠다는 바람입니다.
Anyway, do you have any further optimization plans?
네, 이번 많은
My computer could run it no problem, but maybe other people's. Did anybody else have PC problems running this game?
플레이어분들께서 최적화에 대해서 칭찬을 많이 해주신 점 먼저 감사의 말씀 드리고 싶습니다. 정말 개발진분들이 많은 노력을 기울였던 부분이거든요. 플레이하는 분들께서 바로 알아채 주시니까 정말 기분이 너무 좋았습니다. 하지만 아직도 저희가 조금이라도 더 좋아질 수 있는 부분들이 있을지 검토하고 있어요. 본편에는 데모보다 더 좋아진 그래픽과 최적화된 환경으로 플레이하실 수 있을 겁니다. 많이 언급하셨던 로딩 속도도 이미 본편에서는 어느 정도 저희들이 의미 있게 단축시켰거든요. 최상의 그래픽과 안정된 프레임으로 완벽한 플레이 환경을 경험해 보시길 바랍니다.
Frame rate is what matters. Opinions are to level up. Oh, wow.
네. 별바라기에서 지속적으로 레벨업을 하지 못하는 것이 불편하다는 의견이 꽤 많으시더라고요. 네.
The Stargazer is it's the lantern, it's the bonfire.
이해합니다. 저희도 알고 있는데 그런데 굳이 왜 이렇게 의도적으로 불편하게 해두었냐를 조금 설명드리자면 사실
I guess he's going to say I guess the reason why he's going to say I'm trying to predict this. It's because the hotel is going to change throughout the story, and they want you to go back to the hotel to experience those changes, and there will probably be cinematics that are triggered upon entering the hotel. Let's see if they say this.
데모에서는 거의 나온 게 없다 싶을 정도로 저희가 준비해둔 이야기가 많아요. 그리고 피해 거짓에 있어서 크라토 호텔은 모든 이야기의 출발점이자 중심점이거든요. 별바라기 UI를 열었을 때 크라토 호텔이 다른 별바라기 위치들하고 배치가 살짝 다른 것도 사실 저희가 의도한 것이고요. 호텔에서는 많은 사건과 이벤트가 계속 발생하고 그리고 소피아가 들려주는 이야기도 굉장히 중요합니다. 그래서 이런 내러티브를 적절하게 게임 내에서 풀어내는 방안을 고민하다 보니 이런 구조가 되었는데 그래서 레벨업 위치를 다른 곳으로 조정하는 것이 사실 쉽지가 않아요. 하지만
if this is something that they feel like, and this is one thing, this isn't something that ruins the game or like really makes the game that much worse. It is annoying, but if they feel like it's something that is it is integral to the story and the flow of the game, then they shouldn't change it. Because I don't think it's a big deal either way. Like, who gives a fuck, right? Like, it's the same in Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. It's not like I'm not going to play these games because of this. But yeah.
본편에서는 로딩 속도가 단축되면서 조금 더 쾌적한 플레이를 즐기실 수 있을 것으로 예상됩니다. 처음에는 불편하다고 느끼실 수 있는데 아마 본편을 플레이하시면서 피해 거짓의 세계를 즐기시다 보면 굉장히 자연스럽게
And I can respect a developer sticking by their decision for something like this. I think it is a minor inconvenience. It doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, it's fine.
호텔을 드나들게 되지 않을까 싶습니다. 사실 호텔에 저희가 숨겨둔 것들이 정말 많거든요. 지금 여기서 다 말씀을 못 드린다는 게 너무 아쉽고 죄송합니다.
Alright, let's see next one. Right exclamation how it sounds like a change.
사운드야말로
I'm gonna be honest, I think the sound was actually pretty clean. Like there was a very distinct difference between a block and a parry sound. Like yeah, I don't know, I thought it was fine personally.
액션 플레이에 있어서 놓칠 수 없는 요소라고 생각합니다. 보다 사운드의 입체감을 강화해서 전투 중 시야에 적이 보이지 않더라도 이들을 감지할 수 있도록 보강하는 작업을 진행 중입니다. 또한 환경 사운드도 지속적으로 폴리싱하고 있거든요. 여러분이 실제로 이 세계 안에 있는 것 같은 경험을 하실 수 있도록 저희들이 많은 노력을 들이고 있습니다. 그리고 음악이 좋다. 게임 내에서 더 나오냐? 라고 많이 물어보시던데 자신 있게 답변 드릴 수 있습니다.
Confidently say there's more music. Okay, that's good.
이미 솔라이크를 사랑하시는 플레이어분들뿐만 아니라 피해 거짓으로 처음 이 장르를 플레이해 보시는 분들 모두.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be a struggle whenever you're making a game like this, and to make sure that you hit the mark with like being able to appeal to new players. Because like even Souls-like games don't do that. Go and look at the completion rate of Margit in Elden Ring. It's like 40% of people kill Margit. It's very low.
저에게 너무 소중합니다. 전 세계 게이머분들이 데모를 플레이하시고 다양하게 주신 피드백들을 저희는 열심히 확인하고 검토 중에 있어요. 이미 반영한 것도 꽤 되거든요. 앞으로 데모 플레이를 하시고 많은 의견 남겨주세요. 저희들이 꼭 확인하고 검토하도록 할게요. 저희는 할 수 있는 마지막까지 최선을 다해서 좋은 게임을 선보일 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다. 이거 제가 약속할게요. 그리고 여러분, 데모 버전은 피해 거짓 본편의 진짜 일각일 뿐입니다. 이거 거짓이 아니거든요.
Market 73. Oh, I guess I had it upside down. So okay, yeah, like almost 30 or something percent of people don't kill it, not do kill it. Yeah, my bad on that. I was wrong. Yeah, I got him inverse. But yeah, I think this is a great video, and I'm really glad to see. I'm really glad to see them doing this. I'm going to link you guys the video so you guys can take a look at it yourself if you want. The fighting's satisfying. Everything else is a little bit less important. As I said, the only thing that I really would like these guys to do, like, keep everything else, do whatever you want. Please don't make us repair our weapons during combat. And please don't fucking go and tell me that later on in the game you're not going to have to worry about it, because it doesn't matter, because at that point people have already been inconvenienced at the beginning of the game. Please just make it to where, like, I think weapon durability can stay in the game, but weapon durability should only accrue whenever you do an inaccurate or a badly timed block, because that punishes a player for bad decisions and it doesn't hurt a good player. So it's like an added advantage that you have because you've actually been able to do the mechanic properly. Like, I think that's way better. You'd hate Monster Hunter? Well, I think this is how Sekiro works, for example, is a deflect. Like, deflects will increase your posture bar, but they will never stagger you. So you can deflect every single attack and you will never get staggered. And that's how Sekiro does it. And they make parrying still rewarding. And there's no weapon durability either. Sharp weapons and tools always lose the edge with use, though. Yeah, but this is a game of I mean, this person's like a puppet, and it's like a video game, so, like, I don't really care about that. Not sure the way the character runs in a map, Lies of P seems cheap. I actually thought that the interconnectedness of the world that I experienced towards, like, the end of the beta, I actually thought it was very well done. Hate durability system, you're going to hate Monster Hunter 2 and Zelda Breath of the Wild. Well, I don't know. The reason why I hate it is because I don't think that it's necessary. Like, I played a lot of Souls-like games, right? And I don't feel like it adds anything unique to the genre. I just think that it's an added encumbrance that doesn't really improve the game. And I do think that, again, having to sharpen your weapon if you block wrong is good, because it rewards, because blocking is very strong in this game, and there needs to be a counterbalance for that, so people don't just hold block and then just fucking auto attack bosses to death, right? You don't want to have that. But I do think that needs to be something that's only punished, that you're only punishing people for whenever they're making mistakes. So blocking should not come from auto attack or attacking the boss or parrying. It should only come from blocking, which a block is, again, a badly timed parry. So there you go. Either way, really excited to play this game. I beat the demo. There's some other, like, small minor things that I didn't like brightness issues, etc. But overall, I think the game was very good. It was compelling, and I'm looking forward to playing it whenever it comes out. You're punishing bad players double. I don't think this is a good decision as well. Early game wise as well. Well, the reason why I think it's important to punish bad players double is because if you don't do that, you have to redesign the block mechanic. Because the block mechanic, the way that I see what you're saying, and I think that's a good point, but I think Sekiro effectively punishes bad players twice, right? Because you block and you don't get the parry, and you also take posture damage. So, like, it kind of happens there too. So, like, what I'm saying is I think it's more important. Like, the block mechanic is so good that I don't think that you can just go and leave it in the game without there being a counterbalance to punish people for abusing it. It's like, imagine if you had no stamina bar in Elden Ring or something like that. Makes bad players improve the difficulty of the game? Well, I don't even think that it's that hard. I just think that you need to understand how it works. Did you get the sponsorship to you? Yeah, guys, I'm not going to play this. Yeah, I'm not going to, guys, I'm not going to play the game. Yeah, I'm not interested in it, guys. I was thinking about it, but I really just don't think I'm going to play the game. Yeah, it's just really not, I don't think it's in the cards today, guys. Disappointing, but, there it is.